Good evening, everyone. Hey, it's me, Jeanette. The manager. I'm the manager. I'm the operations manager. I am the social media person. I am also the cleaner of MYBC Consulting. Oh my gosh, I haven't said that in a long time. I'm really excited. Again, Tuesday nights is when I bring you authors on the MYBC Virtual Bookstore Author Series. And just to recap, the reason why I do this is we all have a book in us. We all need to understand that each other's stories matter. And when we share it out to the world, if we can just move that dial 1% to help somebody somewhere in their life, and whether it's reading a book or finding out how people wrote their book. So I am super excited because whenever I get a referral from a friend, in Charmaine Hammond, little shout out to you tonight for connecting me up with Robinson Smith, that means the person is pretty spectacular, that I didn't have to go find the author to chat with tonight. So welcome, Robinson Smith, to the MYBC Virtual Bookstore Author Series.
Well, thank you, Jeanette. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. You are certainly a character, and I know we had a call not too long ago, and I really enjoyed that. So looking forward to this.
Oh my gosh, so am I. Yeah, we did have some good laughs in that pre-meet and greet the author. So I could find out if you were legit to come onto the show, and you are. Like I said, anytime I get an author referred from somebody else, it means a lot to me. That means my friends trust this platform. So let's find out where Robinson Smith lives and a little bit of backstory or his story.
Yeah, Robinson Smith, as we know, president of Smith Consulting Group Limited. I'm based out of Victoria, BC, so not too far from you, Jeanette. And I have been, I first came to Victoria when I went to University of Victoria in 1989. Spent some time over in China, about 8 years on and off in China, and moved back to the island in 2006 to start working alongside my father. So been here for a while, and yes, it's definitely a different pace than living in Beijing, a city of 15, 16, 17 million.
I can attest to that because that's something we have in common that I didn't share with you. My sister was an international school teacher at the Western Academy in Beijing for 4.5 years. And I went and I visited her about 4 years ago now, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. What a beautiful city. And I had one of the ambassadors assistant to South Africa was my guide for the day, taking me around, and it was magical. Oh,
nice.
I loved it. You know what I love about Beijing is the architecture of other areas of the world showing up in Beijing.
It is crazy. The amount of development that's gone on, and the style of development. It's Beijing, Shanghai in particular. I mean, it's just,
oh, it's beautiful.
It's a different world.
So just because I'm curious, what took you to Beijing?
My father suggested I study Mandarin when I first started at University of Victoria. And so I took it because he'd never been wrong before. And I loved it. I loved the language. I took some time off after just my first semester at UVic because I wanted to travel. And I built in a component of living in Beijing for 4 months and studying there. Apart from Australia and New Zealand and that sort of thing. And I just fell in love with learning a language, learning to write it, learning to read it. It's quite something. So I just kept on going. And once I graduated from University of Victoria, I got a job on a contract basis at the Canadian Embassy as a commercial counselor.
Oh, fascinating how just study is able to take you places. Just studying something interesting. That's fantastic. And do you still speak Mandarin? Do you still practice?
Not as much as I do when I was living there. I do make a point of going to Chinese restaurants every once in a while to keep it up a little bit, but you do lose quite a bit if you don't use it. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at how you wrote your book. What's the name of your book?
Master Your Mortgage for Financial Freedom. I just so happen to have a copy right here.
That's good, because I often through these interviews get people to either read the back of the book because we can't judge a book by its cover. We got to flip that book over to make sure we're making a
Yeah.
good choice for our books that we choose to have on our shelf and read and learn from. So that's awesome. So let's talk about the journey from first conception, writing the book, editing, and getting it into the hands of the people that need to have it.
Yeah. As I mentioned, I came back from China in 2006 to work alongside my father. My father came out with a book on the financial strategy that he developed, the Smith Maneuver. He came out with his book in 2002. That's him, Fraser Smith.
Okay.
And he came out of retirement after writing the book to go back into advising. And so we worked alongside each other in the same office space here in Victoria. Excuse me. He passed away in 2011, but I kept on going as an investment advisor until about the middle of 2018. I sold my advisory at that point because this investment strategy for Canadian homeowners is extremely powerful, and it's not easy out there for Canadians these days. I met many people making six-figure incomes complaining that they couldn't make ends meet. Wow. So I decided it was time to start educating Canadians from coast to coast rather than one at a time across the desk as an investment advisor. So sold my business, decided to write my book, Master Your Mortgage for Financial Freedom. That was certainly a process. I'd never written a book before. I'd never really thought about writing a book, but it was the logical next step if I wanted to get word out to Canadians.
Okay.
Follow up on my dad's book. So that was a fantastic year and a half, 2-year journey. Mind you, it wasn't fantastic the whole time. When I sell my business now, I don't have an office. I'm working from home, and the dog wants to go run, and the kitchen's just over there, the TV's just over there, and sometimes it takes a bit to get motivation or to keep that motivation going. But keep going, I did. And the book came out November of 2019. And you mentioned a shout out to Charmaine. She was very helpful in the process of me writing the book, launching the book. And there is a significant debt owed to her, as because the book came out #1 in 22 categories on Amazon on launch day.
Wow.
And she was a part of that, the assistance she provided. So fantastic launch. Really gained traction, kept on going, still selling very well. But the important thing for me, the most valuable part for me in all of this is the fact that there are so many Canadians now, Canadian homeowners, who are learning about the strategy, learning that it's out there. Being able to, you can't look into something if you don't know it's there. And so the number of Canadian homeowners who are looking into this, the number of podcast interviews or YouTube interviews, or I was interviewed today by a freelance journalist not too long ago for the Globe and Mail. So word is really getting out there, and that feels awesome.
Beautiful. There's a couple of things, as I like to say, as I unpack. You say you wrote it at home, kitchen over here, distraction of TV over here. How did you set up your environment for success for the year and a half that it took to write the book?
I winged it. I very supportive wife who was very eager for me to get this out because she knew I wanted to. It was tough sometimes, but when you're in the flow, you're up at 5:30 and you're down and you're writing, and it just comes out your fingertips. The toughest part for me was once I was pretty sure I'd finished the book, because then you start doing the review and, I can improve that and I can improve this, but if I improve this, I got to change that. And so you just keep on going. And if you keep that up, it's never done. You'll never get it out. But that was quite a while, just review and additions, subtractions, that sort of thing. But I guess the main way in which I was set up for success was when I told my wife that I was going to sell my advisory, because I was doing quite well, and we were comfortable, and stability and all that. And but it was time for me to sell the business and take that next step wherever it was going to go. And so in order to tell my wife that this was my plan, I took her to the White Spot. We were sitting down for breakfast, and I said, honey, I'm going to sell the business. And, considering how well we were doing, I wasn't sure how she was going to react, but immediately it looked like she lost 5 years in her face. And she reached across the table, she grabbed both my hands and said, yes, absolutely. It's time,
Wow.
just do it, get it done. It's what you need to do. It's what you're meant to do. So that really started me off on the right foot. I'll tell you what, I mean, if someone were to have an ambition to write a book about something they're passionate about, regardless of what the subject matter is, and you're leaving something behind that offers stability, if your partner were to put up barriers or hesitancy or anything like that, then that would take a lot of steam out of someone,
Absolutely.
So I was extremely fortunate to get off on a very good footing.
That sounds like a good foundation, that 2 months in or 3 months in or 4 months in, it's just going, that holding hands with your wife going, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this. And that leads me to, I got to tell you truthfully, Robinson, sounds like a really dry topic. Just got to tell you right off the bat, from a girl who loves a good inspirational book and and a good fiction book, the topic sounds a little dry. So how do you make it, I think the terminology they call in marketing, sexy, for someone wanting to pick up the book and to learn from it? How did you make it be interesting?
I guess in a way, I didn't really need to focus on that. I mean, these days, Canadians are struggling, as we discussed earlier, and they're looking for ways to improve their financial security. So they find the book in a lot of cases. Maybe they hear something and say, okay, I'm going to remember that, I'm going to go check it out. So it's, a lot of people find the book because they're searching. We pay so much in taxes. We have such expensive mortgages. We're unable to save adequately for our retirement. And this is concerning people. And now you throw in what's going on in the world: economic instability, political instability, job insecurity, pension insecurity, everything, inflation. This is all weighing more and more and more on Canadians. So they're pulling their head out of the sands, realizing that they don't make a change with regards to their finances, no change is going to happen. They're getting worried about it. So they're searching. But when it comes down to, how I wrote the book, my father's book, it came out in 2002. He really was a numbers man. And the book obviously was designed for Canadian homeowners, but your average Canadian homeowner, a lot of times they're not numbers focused, or they don't have that type of mind. And so I wanted to take the content of my father's book, this valuable content that people need to be exposed to, need to be able to absorb, and make it a little more accessible. I try, and probably fail more often than not, to add a little humor to the book. One thing I did to make it a little more fun is I had my niece, do little drawings for the book.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So she did some artwork for the book, and we just had fun with it, So really, it's about, for me, it was about conveying this valuable information in my voice. And I like to be in front of people. I like to educate. I like to talk about this subject matter, and, get up on stage and have fun, make an ass of myself, that sort of thing. And so I tried to do that with the book. And I've had some pretty good reports from readers who have submitted review. Like one guy said, this is the first time I've laughed out loud reading a personal finance book, which...
This is what I said. So you made it humorous versus sexy, which I think for numbers is much more approachable.
Yeah. So I think I achieved my goal of making the book readable and relatable, and not, hey, I'm a financial professional and you're a Canadian taxpayer, and I'm going to tell you what's going on, what you need to do, right? Sort of lay it out in a manner that people can enjoy reading. at least not be bored to tears.
Perfect. So at this time, I would love for you to read a little bit from the back of the book to kind of give somebody the idea of what's within its pages. If there's something pertinent on the back to kind of pique people's interest.
Well, really quickly, Fraser Smith's original book opened my eyes on how to build wealth in Canada. Now his son, Robinson Smith, both simplifies the concept and provides ways to accelerate it with Master Your Mortgage for Financial Freedom. A best-selling author named Sean Cooper, he wrote a book called Burn Your Mortgage. He's actually in my Smith Maneuver Certified Professional network now. He wrote, I wish I had known about the Smith Maneuver back when I bought my home. It would have made burning my mortgage a lot easier. Make your money work for you, not the other way around. Build wealth with no new cash required. Seem to be too good to be true? It's not. This is a must read for any and every Canadian with a mortgage. Follow in the footsteps of the wealthy by making your mortgage tax deductible on your way to mortgage-free financial freedom.
So it sounds like, Robinson, anybody who has a mortgage could use this book and could use this book today, even if they are locked into a 3-year mortgage or just redid their mortgage. Is that correct?
Anybody in Canada with a mortgage should look into the strategy to decide whether it's for them or not. It won't be for everybody. Not everything is. The main requirement is that you have to have at least 20% equity in your home to get the appropriate financing. And if that's the case, you may need to break your current mortgage. But we've got Smith Maneuver certified professionals from coast to coast who can help you look into this. What's the cost of breaking my mortgage versus what am I going to benefit from it? Where's the offset here? We've had people break a mortgage and incur a $30,000 penalty because it was financially worth it to get into the right financing for the strategy.
Wow.
So, yeah, you'd be surprised. For the typical Canadian, the strategy is worth about $300,000 or $400,000 over a typical 25-year amortized mortgage. Take 2 or 3 years off the amortization of that non-deductible debt. But then when you start adding in the accelerators, and almost every Canadian homeowner is going to be able to implement at least one accelerator, if not 2 or 3 or more, then we start seeing results, net worth improvements forecasted at close to $1 million, over $1 million quite regularly. And a 25-year mortgage is gone in 7, 8, 9 years.
Wow.
And no new cash is required from the homeowner to implement the strategy. So you're not doing what many financial advisors say when you go to them for help. How can I increase my wealth? Well, contribute more to your RRSPs or TFSAs, pay more against your consumer debt, pay more. And they all require additional cash flow from your pocket, but this strategy does not. Simply restructuring the way that you've already got your finances into a way that you're able to take advantage of the money that you're already outlaying, that being your mortgage payment. It's coming out of your pocket anyways, put it to work.
That's incredible. So I buy the book, I work through it, and it's like, okay, I need help. Like I'm a layman, I've worked through it, I've figured it out. Is there a support system that you offer to people that buy your book?
Yeah, when I came out with the book, I incorporated into the book the Smith Maneuver Certified Professional Network.
Okay.
Once the book was released, I then had to build out the Smith Maneuver Certified Professional Network. And so I did. And we just recently had, I think this week, had 2 more professionals complete the course. So we've got 68 Smith Maneuver Certified professionals from BC to Nova Scotia. And they're specifically trained in the strategy, and it involves mortgage brokers, investment advisors, realtors, accountants, insurance brokers. So all the financial professionals that a Canadian should surround themselves with anyways. Now there are more or less local professionals who are specifically trained. They've got the designation, they got the certificate, Smith Maneuver Certified Professional. And
all of this.
And if anyone wants to be connected with them after reading the book, not right away, you do your homework first, but at www.smithman.net, you can submit a form to be connected with an SMCP near you.
Typically, how long does it take for somebody to go through the book and complete the book?
I spoke with, I was interviewed yesterday actually by a physician who's got a podcast on personal finances out in Toronto, and we started the call, and I explained the Smith Maneuver like he'd never heard of it before, and then when I was done, he says, I read your book in 2 days. So, oh, you already know what I'm talking about then.
Okay. That's good because, we're in this instant gratification society. We want something to happen. We want it to happen now. And we also, when we get to a certain point, want to know that there's support out there to make sense of it. Because some of us can read a book and understand it and implement it. And there's some of us that, you know what, I've read the book. Can you help me with either some verbal conversations or videos, or however you support your people and support your customer?
Well, on smithman.net, we've got the book. We've also got the Smithman calculator, which people can subscribe to.
Oh,
and
cool.
you punch in your own numbers in this calculator, and it shows you the projected net benefit over the amortization. It shows you how many years you can expect off your mortgage. It shows you how much in tax deductions and tax refunds you can expect. And it's got pretty graphs and everything like that. We've also got a homeowners course available on the website for people who want to really understand what they're talking about before they go and set it up with a Smith Maneuver certified professional.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to say, I often ask my authors, and then I'll fill it in. Who do you think needs to have this book? Like right off the bat, and I know you said anybody who has a mortgage in Canada, if you could niche it down just to a couple of people, like right off top of mind, who do you think should have this book?
I'm making I'm making 85, 150,000 a year. I've got a home. I've had my home for a while. I've got more than 20% equity. I'm concerned about the taxes I pay. I'm concerned about the expense of this mortgage. I'm concerned whether I'm going to be able to retire and how comfortably I'm able to retire. And then it's just a matter of, like I said, once you're ready to proceed, we've got the professionals that make sure you got the right mortgage product. They'll assist you on the investing component, on the tax reporting side of things. If you're looking to buy investment property, we've got professionals to help you there as well. So, and insuring your life and all your assets. So really it's for people, not necessarily for first-time home buyers. A lot of people have difficulty getting 20% down. So they're at 5% equity, and that's not quite there yet. People have lived in their home for 4 or 5 years at least.
Okay.
40, 45 years old, that sort of thing.
Well, I can think of a group. What a great gift to stick in to a wedding present. To kind of tuck in that if you're giving somebody that has bought their first home to move in for their significant other, and you bought some pots and pans and stuff like that, is kind of to slip the book in as well, to give them
great idea.
Yeah, a little bit of a roadmap, a little bit of a, hey, why don't we pull out the book and see what we need to do? So in 2 or 3 or 4 years, we've got the Smith Maneuver in our back pocket or on our bookshelf, ready to put into practice. So that's immediately, and I'm a good gift giver, so I think that's a really good.
I'm writing this down right now, Jeanette.
Yes. So somebody who is getting married or engagement, you're going to an engagement party or something like that, is being able to bring that as a quick little gift for someone. And it may, I'm just kind of saying right now as I'm thinking out loud, is once, if you give it in it as engagement party and they kind of work through it and it's like, I don't think we can do this together. And it's like, better you stop. Know now that marriage is not going to go through.
Right.
If you can at least structure a good house Smith Maneuver together before you want to build your whole life. So I forgot at the top, if you have any questions for Robinson, please put them into the chat of the Facebook group that you're watching this, or no, my Facebook page. 100% he'll come back and answer any of your questions. Also, he'll come back and put your website in any ways to get in touch with you. Wow, fascinating. You have made numbers humorous. And I so enjoyed this. It just goes to show you, if you've got a skill, guys, get that piece of paper, start writing it out. Someone is going to have value in your expertise to make your life better. And that's what's really cool about books.
And since I wrote my book, I keep on asking friends, have you started your book? You're writing a book? No, I haven't started it, whatever. But there is a lot of value, personal value, in just writing a book for yourself. And then you add on top of that you're exactly right. There is somebody out there who is going to hear your message and appreciate your message. So it's a very valuable exercise, even if it doesn't get published. But I really enjoyed the process. It was frustrating as hell sometimes, but I learned a lot about myself. And in the end, I get to help more and more Canadians. And as far as I'm concerned, a financially stronger Canadian is a financially stronger Canada. So hopefully I'm helping a little bit there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Robinson. I so enjoyed this. Hey, I always end this. Go to your bookshelf, grab a book, pour a cup of tea, coffee, whatever you want, tuck yourself into the corner of your couch, your favorite chair. Take your mind to a place you've never been before between the pages of a book. It'll do your heart good. So thank you so much. I'll be back next Tuesday with another edition of the MYBC Virtual Bookstore Author Series, where I bring you people who have written a book, so maybe you'll write yours. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jeanette.